Hey everyone, today we're going camping in Kentucky. Right now we're pulling up on a location that I discovered only a couple days ago. We're on our way back to it because it was pretty interesting. There's this beautiful swamp with cypress trees, but there's also a beach right next to the water, so I want to set up a tent there. There's probably going to be a ton of mosquitoes. Look at all the bugs squished on the windshield. So last night I slept at a Walmart right nearby so I could come right out here and do this. We waited till the evening. It'll be dark in just a couple of hours. It was actually nice today. The high temperature was only 68 degrees or about 18 Celsius. And that's really, really cool for the daytime high this time of year down south. So we got this big bridge and we're going to be camping underneath it. It's just absolutely beautiful. I'll show you. Really, really beautiful. We're just going to park right here where the guardrail swerves off. There's an entrance right here to a farmer's field. Hopefully no one minds me parking right here. We're just going to make sure we get completely off the road. We got to be careful of snakes. The grass is high. We're going to put the big high boots on. As you can see, I am not dressed properly to be walking around in tall grass where there could be potential venomous snakes. We're probably going to need to put this on. We're going to find out pretty fast because we're going to walk around outside for a moment before. I don't think we have to worry about anyone stealing stuff, so we'll just leave all this stuff as is. We'll come back in a moment and get my backpack, which has the tent, a sleeping pad, a blanket, pillow. It might be chilly tonight. It's going to get down to about 50 degrees, 10 degrees Celsius. That's honestly a pretty cool night for Kentucky this time of year. But I'm sure glad that we're doing it now because next week forecasted, it's going to be up in the upper 80s, humid. This is where I intend on walking down. Walking down right here, walking underneath the bridge. It looks like they had to repair the bridge. That's what those metal beams are. And there's something down there moving. I think it's frogs jumping in. What's that cool metal thing? So up here from this high vantage point, I want to figure out how we're going to get over to the good camping spot. We got to go through this vegetation. Perfect area that cottonmouths would like to be. Swampy, wet. See the debris stuck in the trees? This whole area goes underwater. That's why the bridge is so big. But once we get over here, it's a bit safer. These wider, more open areas. Honestly, we can probably walk under. Yeah. We're just going to go under. It's kind of dry. We're just going to walk under the bridge. We don't have to go through any of this grass. But we might be able to find some interesting creatures in these pools. And look at that. Nice rocky areas. Looks like sand from a distance, but it's actually rocks, which is better. It won't get the tent all dirty. It looks like a piece of a barrel. The traffic's actually not that bad. I thought the traffic would have been bad today because it's a weekend. We found this place last week on a weekday. All the drains are clogged, you see? I scooted that out of there with my foot last time we were out here. But this is beautiful. Dark, murky water. Look at that beautiful beach. Some weird slime. Cute birds. But yeah, we're gonna set a tent up right here. Nice beach, beautiful cypress trees. And yeah, if we walk under the bridge, it looks like we have a pretty clear shot of not having to traipse through much stuff. All right, everyone, so I just changed my clothes. I got pants on. I put my corn shirt on. Get the big high boots on because we'll be walking through mud. It's better than nothing if there are snakes around. There we go. And I want to try to bring everything at once. There's water in here. And I think the only thing I gotta carry is my pillow, and I don't even know if I need it. Bug spray. Where am I gonna squeeze that? We'll just jam it in the big high boot for now. Keys. I think we're good. That's shut. We are definitely gonna need the bug spray. They're not bad yet, but there are mosquitoes. The mosquitoes look like zebras. All right, this truck does have an alarm. If anyone messes with it, we'll hear it down by the river. There's a no littering sign broken off, wherever that may have came from. Just looking at some debris around these fields. I think this has been underwater recently. We got some lights. I don't think we have to come back up. Let's head on down. Let's see what it looks like underneath this bridge. I didn't even go underneath this bridge a few days ago when we found the place. I think at night this country road is gonna get quiet. I don't think I'll have to use earplugs, but it's kind of loud when the vehicles are running over these expansion joints. That's the clickety-clack sound of the tires. These joints are because when the sun hits the bridge, it slightly expands. That's what all these cracks are. In the colder weather, they'll get slightly wider as the bridge shrinks. But here we go. It's a little awkward carrying this pillow, but the camping site's right there, so gonna bring it. Let's see. Whoa, that rock's moving. Let's see what's under this bridge. This is kind of steep, this angle we're at. Big pile of debris underneath there. So definitely sees action when it rains. No rain in the forecast for a couple of days. So we're good. I just got to be very careful not to slip. This is probably a 40-degree angle that we're looking at right here. See lots of nests from mud wasps. Oh, look at the drain. That's clogged all the way up through it. So that's still not even going to run if you unclog it. The ones over there are okay, though. That's just caught up on the rocks. Ouch. Backpack is tall. Let's get through this. Here we go. Something's in the water, swimming away fast. Did I have to do that? I think tomorrow we might just go up here. Yeah, this is easier. It just looked like a lot of vegetation from the road. Okay, we cannot walk underneath the bridge like I thought was a possibility. We'll just go carefully through this. Ooh, look at that, there's poison ivy everywhere. I'm not allergic to poison ivy, never have been, but apparently with more exposure you can lose that and start being allergic to it. I think we just got to go straight through this. I don't think there's a way around it. Oh, come on, mosquitoes. Not the time, mosquitoes. We're just plowing it down slowly. Some of this poison ivy is waist deep. There's a lot of mosquitoes in here. Ooh, yeah, they're getting bad. Once we get to an open area, we gotta spray down really, really well. Wow, that's such a beautiful tree. I love the cypress. Look at that. Let's get a still picture of it. Nice rocky beaches here. So the movement you're seeing is just a bunch of tiny fish trapped in here. We have raccoon tracks. We have deer tracks. We have some sort of bird with webbed feet. Maybe a duck. Not quite sure. Let's look around here under the bridge. What do we got here? This also wouldn't be that bad of a spot to camp, right underneath it. Ooh. Down to the river. Wow, this would be beautiful for going on like a kayaking trip. Look up there. Gorgeous. Now let's sneak up the edge of the river. We gotta go up here. Okay, last little bit of vegetation. Okay, looks like no snakes. Now this is cool. Look at the slime. The same slime we were zooming in on. It's coming up out of a hole. It's like a spring somehow. Look at that brick. It's nicely worn down by the river. Basically sandblasting it every storm. Nice big tree. Even the bridge looks scenic. Look at that. And this is where we're gonna camp. I knew I wanted to camp here when I saw it. Might as well do it now while it's a nice cool day. I love those trees. Look at this big clam. Clams do like these muddy rivers that they can burrow down in. I'm seeing movement of fish. I wonder how far this goes where it's stagnant like this, if it would ever be good for kayaking. Those are some of the fattest bottom cypress trees I've ever seen, so nice place to go spend the night. I think we're gonna set up camp right here actually. This more rocky spot rather than the muddy area down there. Yep, let's set up. First thing is first. A bit of bug spray. The mosquitoes are going to get drastically worse as the sun goes down. But they'd be 100 times worse if we did it next week when the temperatures are almost up to 90. First thing is first, get the tent set up. Everything else we can just putter around with as the evening progresses. Ah, there's deer flies. It's deer fly season down here. Usually up where I live, that happens in June. We can hide from them as soon as I get this set up. I went ahead and flipped it around because I want to be able to face the water, or better yet, those beautiful trees. Now in these videos, I usually use a tiny little air mattress that I can pump up in like a minute. It's a teeniest little one-person one. But that thing broke a couple days ago. It has a small leak in it, and until I get home, I can't find the leak. It's a really slow leak. It takes like 20 minutes to notice it losing pressure, but that is not gonna be great when we wake up in 30 minutes down on the gravel. It's not gonna feel great. So I bought this really thin mat. Not the best for what we're sleeping on, but better than nothing. This was the cheapest option at Walmart, and I know I'm not gonna like it as much. When we get home, we're gonna fix it. We gotta cover it with soapy water. We'll figure out where the leak is. If we can repair it, we will. If we can't, we'll order another because it was pretty cheap, and it lasted us quite a few camps actually. And I love this tent too. I have now set this tent up more than any other tent. I like it a lot. We have a little stove in here, which I often use in case I get cold. Don't think that'll be a problem in Kentucky this time of year, but it's here in case. Got some headlamps, silverware, lighters, power bank, thermometer we can set out to see how warm it is. This rock's a little bit warm from baking in the sun. We'll put it up here because we're not gonna sleep quite yet. Big, powerful light. Oh man, I actually forgot in my truck, I actually got that massive light. Maybe we'll go look for it at night. That's when all the creatures come out. A blanket, an MRE meal. Here's a camera in case I felt the need to set it up and watch the camp, but you know how it is. A bear is only gonna break into the tent when there's no camera. If you're there ready to record it, it just won't happen. That's how luck works. Got some water bottles, another big flashlight, and that's about it. Let's explore now that we have set the tent up. Got a lot of different colored rocks, different shades of reds. The water's kind of foggy looking, very swampy and murky. Still a bit dirty from the rainstorms we had a couple days ago when we stopped here. That was an on and off rainy day when we discovered it. The water is a bit clearer than it was because I was zooming in on a snake right over here. It was a water snake. It had a series of different color brown stripes. I see a snake. Where'd it go? Definitely just saw a snake with stripes. Probably just a water snake. I don't know where it went. Here comes some trucks. That guy's going so fast. Whoa. Let's walk out on this little peninsula and get a view into the deeper water. It's pretty shallow. We could even walk around in it. with the big high boots. I love how this tree has created its own island. Ooh, a little school of fish. See him zipping around? Lots of nice bird calls when there's no traffic. It's about 5 o'clock now. Wait until it's like 8 or 9. I don't think the traffic on the road is going to be very common at all. There's a piece of glass, but it's actually worn down, just like that brick, just like sea glass. Here, pretty nice rock. Got a spider friend. Let's have a look over here. Let's zoom into the distance. Lots of pollen. That's what you see down there. Pollen. Yeah, traffic is already quieting down. It's now 6:30. I'm going to show you something that I discovered here. And this is actually pretty awesome. So these rocks are muddy and dirty. As you can see where it flooded up to the last time it rained. Not really that big of a flood. But up here where they've had a chance to rain off, these rocks are actually quite beautiful. They're super smooth. Can you see the shine to that? It's like they all went through a rock tumbler. They're actually really, really nice and smooth. Look at that. They're very smooth. Wow, look at this one. That's not wet. A lot of rocks have to be wet to shine. It's not wet. That is just a super, super smooth pebble there. They're all super amazingly smooth. Because I guess the mud acts like the polishing agent of a rock tumbler, if anyone's ever done that. They're just ultra smooth. I've seen riverbeds with pebbles that have been rounded off, but these are literally polished. And I want to take a little walk in the woods before it gets dark. You see over here, those tracks? I tried to get up this slowly. It's like a 4-foot embankment. I'm gonna have to try running up that if I want to go up there. Maybe those roots will help me up. I want to walk around in this meadow for a little bit. There's so many cypress trees. We don't have anything like that up north, so I think that's really, really nice looking. So I walked across right here. And there is no traction. There's no tree up there that I can grab onto, but maybe if I go right here, how deep is this? I can't see the bottom. It's very murky. Yes, this is going to be our way up. This tree also. Look at that. This would be a good tree to climb. Look at that. Perfect climbing tree. Now we're up. And I can go back down that now in that fashion. I will remember this place. If I'm ever around here again, I want to come here much earlier in the year before this vegetation grows, because this is super pretty and scenic. All these trees. The other side of the road is even better as far as this sort of area. Shady meadows. Debris in the tree as high as my waist, meaning that's where it flooded earlier in the spring. The other side of the road is honestly more beautiful than this. We'll take a walk over there in a moment. I want to come over to this mud pit. But I'm keeping my eyes on the ground. Beautiful. See all the movement in there? Those are fish trapped in the puddles from the last flood. Those are going to become raccoon food basically, because they can't get out of here. Yep, there's raccoon tracks everywhere. They're doing exactly that. Wow, there's a lot of fish. That's what all that movement is. I gotta turn around before I get stuck in it. Let's take a walk down here, follow this little trickle back to a spot that we couldn't walk down to. Well, there's deer tracks here. I'm gonna need to reapply bug spray, but the breeze is helping a lot keep them away. I can see the top of my tent right there. And this is starting to feel like, oop, see, sticky peanut butter. And that debris pile there is over the height of my head. So there was a big flood there at one point. It also looks to me like this is new recent erosion. Like this was a gully that would have held water longer before that eroded out like that. I've actually never seen cypress trees with their needles growing. Typically only go down south in the middle of winter. All right, let's go for a little walk under the bridge to the other side before the sun goes down. See piles like this, there could be snakes under, so we'll stay away from that. I remember when I was in Florida, when I was asking park rangers about the venomous snakes, they told me that on the colder nights, you can find snakes trying to go under your tents. So that's something we got to think about. That one piece of garbage I'm seeing there, I'm now thinking about how actually clean this place is. What do we got there? What lives in there? If I remember, I want to take that piece of trash with me because it's literally the only piece of trash I'm seeing. All right, we're gonna go back and plow through this so we can get a view of the other side. There's lots of these holes. I hope that's not bees or something. Oh my gosh, the other side is much more pretty. Let's go through this carefully. Can't see the bottom. Just got to go another 8 feet. Look at the cables holding the bridge together. This thing must have seen a big flood at some point. You saw the repairs I was showing at the beginning with I-beams. There's cliff swallow nests. And what is that I'm seeing there? More mud wasp. Wow, this side is... I love seeing stuff like this. I've never seen such a beautiful cypress forest. Even when I was down in Florida, I didn't see anything like this. Absolutely gorgeous. If it wasn't muddy, I probably would have camped over on this side. Lots of deer tracks. Every bit of debris is showing the old water level, and to speak of it, the water lines on the trees are all over my head. Wow. There's another piece of garbage. Is that glass? Yep. There's more of them, but this area, you can see more of the roots, which make it super pretty. Let's see if we can go for a bit more of a walk. This is one smooth log. Yeah, there's not much vegetation here. You can see to the bottom of it. Hopefully see a snake before you step on it. Wow. This is just gonna keep going and going. Well, we have our answer here. When I was thinking about how far this might go for canoeing, right around the corner it becomes where you wouldn't be able to. But maybe earlier in the year, when this is flooded into the whole muddy area, you probably could. This is very slippery, so I gotta be careful where I step. If I listen carefully, I'm hearing something. Maybe even a waterfall. We got 2 hours of daylight to explore. And I want to figure out what I'm hearing. Ooh, big fish. Yeah, this is cooler than anything I've seen as far as a cypress. Is that alive? Nope. You could probably find a ton of clams here. Oh my gosh, that's so majestic looking. A cypress swamp with a beaver dam. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. Now that's something you wouldn't be seeing down in South Florida. Beavers don't live there. They do live in northern Florida though. And they absolutely are in Kentucky. We're gonna carefully traipse through this, which is up to my waist. I've gotta photograph that. Wow. And look at the grass here all mowed down. It's probably beavers. Such a beautiful scene. Be careful on these slanted areas. Where's the lodge? I don't get to photograph southern beaver swamps very often, so this is amazing to me. Whoa, that scared me for a minute. I thought that was real, but my brain didn't register that it was even a duck. I just like, ooh. That must have got loose from someone hunting upstream. It's a decoy. If I can reach out there, I'm gonna take that with me. Get a piece of plastic out of the environment and a free souvenir. There's more garbage over there too. But all being said, pretty clean. Yeah. That's actually a pretty old bottle. Got this. I'm gonna take that home. I'm gonna throw that in my pond in the yard. We'll grab that on the way back. At least we don't have to worry about alligators here. They're almost unheard of in this area. When I looked it up, it says there's not a breeding population. There's just a few stragglers that make their way up in the warmer months. Oftentimes ones people have as pets illegally that get dumped. This area is so flat. This beaver swamp seemingly goes on forever. I see no end to it in sight. Let's get a picture of it from the upper side. Am I seeing more beaver construction work? I might be. I'm walking carefully. Even though those type of snakes are not confrontational, they'll stand their ground, which means basically they will not move. Is that what I think it is? Yes, it is. Okay, so you see all those black clumps. It's frog eggs and they're hatching. Tadpoles. The beavers have created the perfect sanctuary for all these frogs. Wow. You zoom in on them. At first I was like, are those just balls of moss? Yes, they are. But that started as frog eggs, and as they're sitting in the sun, they have now turned into algae and moss balls. We got some water lilies coming up. Got more water lilies out there. Another fish just jumped. I'm having a good time here. Now this would be the spot. If I'm ever in the area again, I would totally walk a kayak out here and go traipsing through the swamp. Because I don't see an end to it. This is big. Just look back in there. We best be heading back to camp now. We will stop by the truck just to throw that garbage and the duck in there. And I'm also gonna grab my massive flashlight because I want to come up here and look for creatures again, but in the middle of the night. Maybe we could even find beavers. I'm seeing more frog egg clumps everywhere. Enough that I can honestly say there's gonna be hundreds of thousands of tadpoles. Look at them all. Each clump has a potential, depending on what frog it is, from being a few hundred to a few thousand. We got some stinky gas bubbles coming up from the depths right there. If we had a lighter, that would probably be flammable. Beautiful layer of pollen. All right, I'm gonna grab this duck. I'm gonna grab this bottle. I'm gonna grab that really, really big glass bottle. I'm gonna grab that takeout styrofoam container, and that should be good. See things like this, gotta be careful stepping up. And I'm gonna basically try to take the same exact route I came in here through. Ooh, there was a snake there. Where'd it go? It went towards the water. Probably a water snake. Trying to figure out exactly where I came from, because I'm now noticing a lot of these trails, they're not me. Here's some footprints that are me. Those are deer trails. Yep, this is the way we came. I see my footprints. What do you guys think? Does this thing completely dry up maybe in the summer? Because it's barely flowing right now, and it just rained a few days ago, and it's not hot out yet. Where's that bottle? I see it. And I'm gonna go grab that piece of trash too. Don't want something like this shattering eventually. Although in these conditions, it seems like it would get smoothly worn down pretty quickly. Can't really carry too much more. Let's go get the styrofoam. How did I get in here now? We had a nice, simple path when we came in here. I'm not seeing my tracks. It's okay. Let's go on through. Do I see my tracks under here now? I don't see anything pushed over. That's my footprint. Now I see my trail. All right. There's some broken glass. More broken glass. That's what we're trying to prevent right here. Let's go grab that without making too many more pieces of it. And that duck actually has a nice handle. Trying to grab it all and still have a hand free. Great. Here's the tent. I'm totally going right back up there. I'm gonna throw this in the truck and grab our big light. Now, do I want to just slide down there? If I jump, you think I'm gonna fall? Probably. With all this stuff I have in my hands. Step down onto that log. Yeah, perfect step. How deep's that? Not that bad. Back over to camp. Did you just see that friend go up inside our tent? Look at that. Looks like it's got eggs too. Let's go back up to the road. I'm hearing all those birds again. All right, brought that trash back up here. Found this in my truck. That's gonna be delicious tonight. Got the giant flashlight that we'll take a walk in the woods with as soon as it gets completely dark. It might be a cooler night, but I feel like it's humid enough that some of the swamp creatures might still want to come out. And we're not going under the bridge again like when we came in. But this is like a 40-degree angle, but at least it's rough. It's kind of hard to actually slip on it. All right, we're coming back the easy way. We're just slowly crushing ourselves a trail. There's fish in this puddle too. They have no way to get out. They'll become raccoon food pretty soon. No frog eggs, amazingly. The frogs in this area seem to be smarter than where I live. They seem to have only laid eggs in spots that aren't going to dry up. I think this bridge is cool. It sounds like a train when trucks go over it with all those expansion joints. It's cool. The temperature's just about spot on of what it was when we arrived. It feels hotter than when we arrived. It feels like slowly as the evening progresses, it's getting more and more humid. I wish it'd get hotter, not more humid. That's worse in my opinion. But it's 70 degrees outside, just about 21 Celsius. It's getting darker. First week of May 2025. And I just heard a big bullfrog croak. We'll try to look for it when it gets dark. All right, everyone. It's now completely dark. It's now 9:45. There is no more traffic on the road at this point. But I'm hearing scary swamp noises. Let's go outside with the big flashlight. I probably should have brought my Crocs to walk around on the beach out here. I ate all of these. We'll open this up for breakfast. Brought my toothbrush. I hear coyotes. Come to speak of it, I did see tracks in the mud from them. I don't think I mentioned it though. I also hear frogs, so I just want to walk around right outside. All right, let's look outside. It's so peaceful. We have that little bit of trickling water. There's lots of little flies out here. Actually, I love these little flies. Do you know why I love these little flies? You're gonna probably find out in a minute. Nice rocky beach. I don't even really need to put the boots on right now. But I'm gonna put the boots inside so no critters go inside them overnight. But I hear frogs when I was sitting in there for the last couple hours right behind me. There could be bullfrogs around. But the reason I like these little flies is sometimes when you have the light on long enough, you'll attract, there'll be 1,000 of them around you. They just want the light. They're not here to bite you. But them swarming the light, they're crashing into the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes won't go near you when you got all these other guys flying around. Big light. That's actually a really pretty scene. Barely any cars going by. I saw a frog jump in the water. I see lots of fishies. I bet you the frog is in the plants hiding. But I did hear some croaks. You don't know how nice it is seeing all this green vegetation when literally 5 days ago I was up in Maine where the leaves haven't even started opening on the trees. Maybe with this bright light we can see down. Ooh, I like that. Look at the little sandbar coming out here. Creepy, but majestic at the same time. Before I head out in the morning, I'm definitely going to look around at all these rocks. There are some amazing shapes. Like, what's this? Kind of looks like what's left over after making metal in a foundry. Yep, there's a lot of these bugs starting to cluster. They keep crashing into my face, but they don't bite. You just got to try not to breathe too deep, because you will inhale them. I wasn't hearing a massive amount of frogs. I just hear a loud bark every now and then from like a bullfrog that's hiding somewhere out here. The likelihood of us finding one of them, since there's not a lot of them, is pretty low. Maybe in the fall, when the weather gets cool again. I found online there's some beautiful campsites in cypress forests like this down in Louisiana. But in order to get to them, you have to canoe for like half a day through a swamp like this that's flooded with alligators. I kind of want to do that over the winter. There's swamp campsites down there. Think about that. Not seeing any frogs. Oh well. I wonder where all those frog eggs are over there, if we'd see any action. But I don't really want to walk that 20-minute walk right now in the middle of the night. Yep, these guys are keeping away the mosquitoes. Alright everyone, it's now later at night. You can't really hear too much out here. You can just hear the nice trickling sound of the water. Every now and then a vehicle will go by, but now it's pretty far and few between. But we are hearing some scary noises in the woods. I just heard it again. Here comes a car. But did you hear something in the woods? So I 100% heard a pack of coyotes. I'm not afraid of them. But the one thing that's making me nervous, because I don't have any experience with them, is those tracks in the woods, those might not be deer. There could be wild pigs out here. There's just a few noises I'm hearing. But I looked it up, and they extremely rare when they mess with a tent. Just like a lot of animals, you have to get near their baby or something. But I don't have experience with them. I don't know if those tracks are actually deer or not. Someone in the comments can tell me. But I do hear noises that I typically don't recognize out here. It doesn't sound like a farm pig. It sounds more like something was grunting in the woods, and I that's all I can think it may have been. I don't know. I'm gonna try to go back and enhance some noises I've been recording. I'm gonna try to turn the sound up when I'm editing to 200 times. Can you hear that? I'm trying to talk slowly, but honestly, my voice is probably a good deterrent. There's something out there in the woods making noises that I don't want to try to imitate, but do you hear that? Something in the woods is grunting. I hear a bullfrog again. Well, I gotta try to get some sleep regardless. Now there's an owl. Now I'm sure that's coming in clear enough for you to hear it. You see how you're able to see my face? It's not really the reflection of the camera, but I think the moon is huge. We gotta take a look outside. Wow. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you can see it in person. Wow, the sky is all lit up, and we are nowhere near a city. That's not light pollution. With the naked eye, I can see the beach here. I can see the trunks of the trees. I think we almost have a full moon. That is so cool. We're gonna peek out here again in like an hour. Maybe it'll be completely past that tree line. There's stars. This is nice. I'm actually really enjoying this right now. I'm hearing an owl. I hear a bunch of bullfrogs in the distance. I think I'm hearing a different kind of frog too. There's one out there that's going like this. I don't know if it's a bullfrog or not. It's like, it's a very loud one, like a loud vibrating noise. I'm used to bullfrogs sounding more like a bark. The trickling water, the grunting noises. I haven't heard that in nearly an hour now. Haven't heard the coyotes. It was just a pack coming through. Those aren't really a concern. Come to speak of it, I haven't heard a car go by in a long, long time. Traffic on the road is done this time of night. Oh no. I waited an hour. It got more cloudy out. But to the naked eye, I can see. Look at this. I'm not using a flash at all. You can see the thermometer right there. You can see some of my items on the ground. But to the naked eye, it's not that bad. I can see everything out here. What's the temperature like? It dropped back a bit. It's supposed to be a lot colder. But it's actually perfect right now outside. And ow, 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 ow. My back hurts so bad. I hate this thin mat. Oh, I can feel the rocks and gravel. It's so bad. That 2-inch thick air mattress I usually have in here, instead of this pad, it rolls up to a quarter of this thing's size, and it is so comfortable. I wish I had that today. My back hurts so bad. It's hard to even budge just from laying on this. It's 1 a.m. We have 5 hours until the sun comes up where we can actually start cleaning things up. I'm hoping to fall asleep and just sleep on in late. Pigs. At least they're afraid of me. Not too far away, I was hearing. Not very loud. But then I heard something running through the rocks, the gravel. And then I just shouted, and multiple things just ran across the water. But at least they're afraid of me. That's good. All right, everyone, it's now 4:30 in the morning. I haven't heard traffic in a very long time. I got nearly 3 hours of sleep. While I was sleeping, I don't know if any animals were around. But as soon as I heard those pigs run across, I was like, I actually ran out there for a minute, and I put the trail camera up on my tripod. Now I bet you nothing's going to happen again. Like I said, that's how it works. Now that there's an actual camera out there waiting for an incident to happen, nothing's going to happen. But sunrise is supposed to be within the next 45 minutes. Because of the pigs, I didn't want to open anything until daybreak, but I'm hoping there's coffee in here. I'm going to open this MRE meal. That means meal ready to eat. So this one here, the ones that come in this orange or reddish bag, are what the United States gives out to other countries after a disaster or an emergency. They're cheaper meals than the actual brown bag military meals. They're still higher quality. The reason they're cheaper is because when we give them out, they try to keep it on a budget, and it's usually things along the lines of beans, rice, cheaper food items, but still quality. I want to figure out what's in this. They're usually a little bit different depending what menu it is. Well, this is the first time I've ever had an MRE meal rupture, but I guess it's my fault. It was banging around in the back of the truck with other stuff. So what actually leaked? Is it the strawberry jam? It smells really sweet. Like it's been out a while, and it kind of hardened. I don't know, though. But what do we got in here? So we don't make a mess, we'll just put it up. Peas in tomatoes. We also have lentil stew. This is definitely crackers. Yep. Comes with nutrition facts. This right here is a Pop-Tart. Almost every time when you open up the silver lining, there's an actual Pop-Tart in there. In the normal packaging you find at the store. The Mylar bag preserves it for a very long time. These meals, even decades into the future, will still be edible the way they are typically packed. Oatmeal cookie. The next one is shortbread cookie and peanut butter, silverware, and this is where you would find coffee or a drink if it does have one. Let's open that. Nope, it does not appear to have coffee. It's got sugar though. So this package right here, this thing leaking here, it feels like it leaked a long time ago. So honestly, it may not even be my fault it banging around in the truck, because it wasn't banging around in the truck super duper long. Maybe just half a year, because I eat these things and swap them out quite often. But just that moisture right there, that moisture inside the MRE bag was enough for the staple on the matches to rust that badly. Look how pitted the staple is. How long do you think that took to happen from the ruptured sauce right there? Or the jam. It rusted that bad onto the crushed pepper. I'm still going to use it. It's just iron. It came with a moist towel, salt, sugar. See, that's rusted and moisture all over that. Never had that happen, but I don't think it wrecked the food. We're just not going to eat this. Definitely the jam. That smells very, very sugary. The matches still work, despite the moisture that was in the package, obviously. But yeah, that must have taken a long time to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened in the factory. That's rare. I've never seen something like that before. Yup, it's an actual Pop-Tart. And I don't know if you can tell, these two Pop-Tarts are almost the thickness of one. When they vacuum packed it, it really crushed it. This is super hard, actually. Here we have the peas and tomato sauce and the lentil stew. I'm going to add the pepper. I'm also going to add the spicy pepper in there. These meals sure are filling. I'm about halfway through the second one and I'm almost full. Might have to wait a little bit before we have any more stomach space. But these things are individually packaged, so I can always save this stuff. Look at that. The sun is starting to come up. There's birds chirping. Sounds beautiful. I'm out here nice and early with the flashlight. I didn't bother to put on my shoes because we're just walking around in the beach area. These rocks are very, very smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and check that trail camera that we got right there. I don't think any critters are gonna come around now at this hour. Especially me walking around with this big light. And it'll scare anything away. Just check the weather forecast. Today is supposed to be mostly dry, but 7 in the morning there's a 40% chance of rain. So we're gonna get this tent put away very, very quickly. It is now about 5 in the morning. 6 o'clock, it'll be fully light. Take the tent down, we can put it completely away. We can get everything into the backpack in literally 10 minutes. And we'll get out of here. Because look, this morning there's not even dew on the tent. It's completely dry, no dew. So I want to put it away, then we don't have to set it up again somewhere else to let it dry so it doesn't become mildewy. Let's take a look back right here. Lots of little fish. Let's go see if there's any other critters. Just walk around really careful. Also, before I get out of here, I want to look at these smooth rocks, see if we can find a couple interesting shaped ones. They do feel like they came out of a rock tumbler. They're all polished. Nice looking. I see movement in the water. What do we got? Bunch of little fish. During the night, every now and then there'd be a massive splash of a big fish jumping. That looks nice. The sky turning blue. Well, let's go back in. I'm gonna bring the camera in with me. We can look at that. I don't think anything's on it, because that's the way it goes. Ran out here when those pigs ran away. Hoping they'd come back, but I really don't know. I went to sleep. Got about 3 hours of sleep. How cold did it get? About 58 degrees or 14 Celsius. Not too bad. Wiping my feet off. I purposely took my socks off because debris was sticking to my socks the last time I came out here. And I tracked some of it into the tent. Now let's have some breakfast. We ate all the meals. We ate the oatmeal cookie. Actually tasted more like gingerbread in my opinion. Ate the shortbread cookie. Now we got the Pop-Tart and crackers. We'll enjoy those while we're looking at the camera and waiting for the sun. All right, everyone, we're reviewing the camera footage, and there is somebody on it. Let me show you. I'll tell you what I believe it is. So shut the flash off. Take a look at it with me. Are you able to see this? Okay, up and down. Notice right there at the bottom of the tree in the middle. Notice in the water right there. That right there is eyes. Watch. It's gone. Now it's there. Gone. Now it's there. Let's hit play. See the eyes? That's too small to be a beaver. I'm thinking it's a river otter because, let me show you another clip. Clip 75. It could be a muskrat, but I think it's a river otter because of the way it moves in clip 75, I think it was. Okay. Watch this. So as we go through here, look how many times it recorded. And these cameras are pretty reliable to not have false triggers. It's not like the cheaper cameras where you'll get 1,000 clips of the wind blowing. There was no wind last night. What are all these recordings? It's something that you can't see with your own eyes. I see in some of these clips there's activity. There's things moving around in the water. That's just the moonlight you're seeing there. I just heard a frog jump. Did you hear that in the water behind me? Okay, here we are. Was it 75? Yes, it was 75. Let's hit play. Look at this. See it right there? See it moving? It's getting out of the water. It's the only clip where it seems to get out of the water. Although I'm not going to go ahead and watch them all. That, I think, is a river otter right there. Could be a muskrat. Maybe that's not the clip where it got out. 74 maybe? Play. I think that's a river otter or a muskrat. I don't think it's a beaver. But that's about as eventful as it looks. But I'm bored while we wait for the sun to come up. You see, the sun's barely coming up. You can't even see really a glow outside yet. But I'm gonna keep taking a better look at this. I guess I can go ahead and start cleaning up everything in here. Fold the blanket, roll up my mat, start condensing as much into the backpack as I can. Then we can walk around outside because it's actually starting to get light. Traffic is slowly starting to pick up too. It's still very dark out in the woods. This is what it looks like to my eyes. You can see pretty good here at the banks, but I wouldn't be able to see much if I went into the woods. And this is what the camera can see without lights. Traffic is still few and far between. Lots of birds. No matter where you are in the world, the birds are always super excited the first couple hours of morning or first couple hours of daylight. Even the hour before daylight, they know it's coming and they start chirping like crazy. But now we got everything out. Gonna put the big high boots back on and we're gonna start wrapping the tent up and get this tent completely folded up in there. It's got to go in there first. Then I can put the blanket in there, stuff the garbage in there. Just gonna put the flashlight over my shoulder, carry the pillow again, carry this again, and we can walk back up to the truck in like 5 minutes. I just don't want to go through the dark, scary woods until the sun comes up. But 20 minutes makes a whole world of difference while we organize this. Alright, I'm all packed up. I'm just gonna look around at all the nice rocks and stuff for like another half an hour while we wait for it to brighten up a bit more. Over there, I can see the sky's actually getting orange. Might have a pretty nice sunrise in a little bit. We're all packed up pretty fast. Nine more minutes until the sun is officially up. This is still considered dawn. There's some really interesting rocks. There's all kinds of things that look like some kind of writing or weird symbols. Ones like this you find everywhere. Also find ones like this everywhere too. Look, they're so smooth. It's like a little bowl that's not wet. They're literally that smooth that they shine. All kinds of really cool ones. Super smooth. It is officially daylight. What I'm noticing here is, you see the high water line right there? The amount of water that was going through there, and I'm also looking at how this was all underwater a few days ago up to this point. I think it's possible, very possible, that there's another beaver dam down here holding this pool up. Maybe. How deep is this? How deep does this go? It's not as deep as it looks, but it gets deeper there fast. I'd say it's around waist deep where those trees are. I think we're ready to start walking out. It's another piece of glass, but it's not sharp. It wore it down like the ocean. I've never seen a river before that polishes things like this. It's kind of cool. All right, let's head on out. It's so beautiful out here. Look at all these rocky sandbars. This looks so nice. Here comes the beautiful sunrise. It's not as cloudy anymore for the moment. See the debris there stuck on that barbed wire fence? This entire spot was underwater. Just look at that. Look at the debris right there, jammed against the fence. This entire field would have been underwater during the spring thaw or just the last big flood. Pretty interesting. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. It was extremely close. Or did it actually go over? It had to have gone over in some spot on this road if it was within inches there of the crown. We're gonna find out. Yeah, I think it was going over the road. Notice how low the shoulder is. I think it was eroding that. But I'm amazed it's not eroded here, so maybe not. All right, everyone, look at that. The sun is now peeking across the trees. All right, let's move on out. I hope today's video was interesting, everyone. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.